Good evening, everyone. Late Night Mega here, and tonight we're playing Mega Man X3. So put on your PJs and prepare for some cliches. And first, we have this really cool intro cutscene, or this opening cutscene. And, I really appreciate the music behind it, so I'm going to be quiet for the rest of this scene. There are so many cool things about that opening sequence there. And, I really appreciate it. If you're playing Mega Man X3 on the Super NES, you do not get that. That's because for the Mega Man X collection on the GameCube, they used the Mega Man X3 from, I believe, the PlayStation version. And at first, I really hated it because it added some things, especially when we get to the sound. I'll complain about that in a little bit. I have the sound settings set to not be obnoxious. If you first just fire up the game and play it as it is, the Buster charging sequence especially is super loud, and it just drowns out like everything else. And it's really annoying. So basically, I turn the sound effects down and the background music way up, so that way we actually have a balance. And Mega Man X3, at one point I had this game like very well memorized, like the back of my hand, but it's actually been quite a while since I beat it or played it. So this should be interesting. And basically what's going on here is we had this place called Doppler City, or Doppler, some sort of Doppler place. And it was the utopia that everyone has been dreaming of. And unfortunately that utopia is run by this guy named Dr. Doppler. Go figure. And he had supposedly this anti-virus thing, so it stopped Reploids from going Maverick. Well, turns out it didn't work. And it turns out that the Reploids at this Doppler paradise, they started going Maverick. And now they're attacking actually Mega Man X's base, so we're going to have another cutscene. As we'll see here, we're actually attacking Dr. Kane's laboratory, and so X and Zero will be rushing to the scene, and then we'll be off to the Doppler Land. Doppler Land, that's what it's called. And and so you can kind of tell by some of the sound effects that this isn't quite the same as the Super NES sound effects. And at first I was really annoyed by that because, as you guys might know, I don't like remixed music that much. I've kind of grown to be okay with it here. Typically, like 99% of the time, I like the original version of any sort of tune or music before any sort of remixed versions. So, yeah, that's just kind of the way I am. I'm not huge for, oh, the first is always the best sort of mentality, but when it comes to music, I kind of get that way. I don't know, it's just like changing it, but it's trying to be the same, but it's not. And now we meet this guy named Mac, who's betraying us, apparently. You are far too trusting, X. I'm now a member of Doppler's army. You will make a fine addition to our forces once you have been shown the true destiny of the Reploid race. Mega Man X3 is my favorite of the X games as far as the Super NES era goes. But not my favorite of the entire X series. And here is one thing I really like about Mega Man X3. This is the first time we get to play as Zero. And Zero, if you remember his little spaz out attack at the end of Mega Man X2, where he does two full buster shots and then throws a Z-Saber, you get that here. Except you don't get to throw the saber. It just ow. Okay, we'll try this way. Ow. I've forgotten how to dodge these. I like the glass exploding in the background. You knock that off. Yeah, I'll make you stop. But Zero's Z-Saber is insanely powerful, and allow me to demonstrate. So now we're going to fight Mac, and normally he takes quite a number of hits, but one shot with the saber and then just a regular buster shot, and he's dead. Are you okay, X?
Thanks, Zero. I'm okay.
I'll check around headquarters again. Be on your guard, X.
Roger, roger.
So there are some neat things about Mega Man X2, and there's a couple things that I kind of don't like about it. We'll get into that, but right now we have to deal with this guy, our intro stage boss, and he's already done more damage than Mega Man X2's intro boss did to us. How wonderful. But he's still not that challenging. Notice how he takes a ton of damage still from our attacks, but he's an intro stage boss, and his attacks only do 1 damage to us. So, yeah. He's an intro boss, not supposed to be challenging. But it was a nice little warm-up of a stage, and yeah, I appreciate it. I don't mind the intro stages, especially when there's a bit of plot developing in them. That's the perfect way to do an intro stage, in my opinion. Out of here! Probably an inappropriate place to start voice acting. See you later, X. And this was also the first time where I felt that me and Zero were actually part of a mission, part of a same team fighting together. Where am I saving this? Oh, that was a silly run. I'll save here. I'll meet you guys back at the stage select screen.